The meeting of the Planning Commission will come to order. At this time, could we please rise and follow Commissioner, who could I pick on? How about Ortiz, and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Place your right hand over your heart. Repeat after me. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, could you please call roll?
Commissioner Uva,
Present.
Commissioner Ortiz,
Present.
Commissioner Duarte,
Present.
and Chair Owens.
Present. This is the time set aside for oral communications from the Planning Commission. Does any commissioner wish to make an announcement or report on a conference or meeting or request items for a future agenda? Commissioner Uva.
I was fortunate in the month of March to attend the League of Cities Planning Commissioners Academy along with Commissioner Ortiz, and we learned a lot. It was very good, very educational. That's all I have to report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Ortiz.
So I also attended the Planning Commission Academy. By attending, I had two goals. My goal was to learn more about planning commissioning, and my second goal was to get tools to help us be more transparent to our community members, see what we can get to get more community engagement. So I know I emailed Melissa, who is a senior program manager, and she sent an email to me and Crystal. So I appreciate Crystal for attending because she gave us a lot of insight. So thank you, Crystal. I was hoping also if for the future agenda item, if we can put into agenda for recognition for Art Montoya. I know he moved to a new district, so I want to see if we can do that for him.
Most definitely.
And that's its report.
Thank you, Commissioner Ortiz. Commissioner Duarte.
No announcements, thank you.
And I have one. So this is for the residents of District 2, as well as my colleagues up here in the dais this evening and the rest of the gallery. Today was the filing deadline to fill the vacancy in District 2 for the council seat, and I've submitted my application. So that's all I have. Thank you. At this time, does the Deputy City Manager have any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Chair Owens, we do have a change. So item number 3 tonight is going to be continued to the April Planning Commission meeting. We know we have some folks here tonight, and so I'd recommend, one, that you follow us on Facebook and our social media platforms, and you'll see that agenda posted there as well. Also, if you want to submit comments, you feel free to do so. I know staff had distributed some business cards, so you can submit your comments to the project planner as well on that. But we will be discussing that item at the April 20th meeting.
Thank you. Does the Deputy City Manager have any presentations this evening?
No presentations tonight, Chair Owens.
And does the Deputy City Manager have a report on City Council actions?
Nothing to report tonight, Chair Owens.
Thank you. Now is the time set aside for public hearing items. The public hearing for the special event permit application PLN-22-0038 is open. Does the Planning Secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, we do.
And will the Deputy City Manager introduce staff making the presentation?
Thank you, Chair Owens. Tonight we have our Senior Planner, Alfonso Hernandez, to give the presentation.
Good evening, Chairman Owens and members of the Planning Commission. Tonight, you're being asked to consider a special event for a circus to take place at the Stonewood Mall. The applicants are Circus Vargas, and they have hosted the event in the past, previously 2019 and 2021. This year's event will take place between April 22nd and May 9th. I'd also like to note that the setup and layout are equal to what was on there last year. This is an aerial of the Stonewood Shopping Center outlined in red, located on Firestone. between Lakewood Boulevard and Woodruff Avenue. The site is a total of 63 acres. This is the corresponding zoning for the subject property and nearby area. The site is developed under the specific plan on SP 891, or also called the Stonewood Specific Plan. To the east are R3 and R1 lots developed with condominiums and single-family homes. To the north are primarily R1 zone properties. To the west are CP zone properties developed with a mix of both commercial and residential. And to the south are commercial properties located within the Lakewood Firestone Specific Plan. Here is a layout of the exterior of the Stonewood Mall. The event area will take place toward the southwest corner of the site in the parking area directly west of BJ's and north of the Days Inn Hotel. The designated parking area is located towards the northeast portion of the site, but away from nearby residential properties. This area is directly east of Kohl's and north of the Sears. Here is a closer view of the Circus Layout. The main entrance is closest to Lakewood Boulevard. The Circus area is blocked off from traffic with the exception of ADA parking and emergency vehicles. Parking attendants will be located at designated areas to assist with movement and provide direction. Here is a floor plan of the tent. There are 7 different points of egress, with the bottom square representing the main entrance. The event setup will begin Tuesday, April 19th, and breakdown will be completed on Tuesday, May 10th. The first show will be on Friday, April 22nd, and final show on May 9th. There are 2 days off in between those dates. In total, there will be 16 dates of performances with an overall of 28 shows. Each day will have 1 to 3 events. The expected occupancy per event is 500 people. Here is an image of the setup. And here's an image of the interior. The police department requested that 8 uniformed security guards be present. The circus will be providing 8 security guards, 6 parking attendants, and the mall will be providing an additional 3 security guards, exclusively for the event. In conclusion, it is staff's opinion that the findings can be made in a positive manner. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfonso. At this time, does the Planning Commission have any questions of staff? I'll start with Commissioner Uva. Any questions from staff or of staff?
Just one question. I thought you said it was the exact format as the last time. Was the parking in that same location last time that is being presented tonight?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And Commissioner Ortiz, questions of staff?
No questions.
Commissioner Duarte?
Just one brief one. Was there any issues reported at the last year's event or anything?
Sorry. No calls for service, no complaints received from staff.
All right, thank you.
And I had lost track, so this kind of the same question as Commissioner Uva. Did the layout change? Was this where the circus was set up last year, or was it in the northeast corner?
In 2019, it was in the southeast corner, next to the Olive Garden, and then they changed it in 2021 to the spot that they're proposing now.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Before I open the public hearing and call the applicant or his or her representative, this would be the time for planning commissioners to discuss any pre-hearing site visits or pre-hearing discussions that the commissioners may have had about the project. Commissioner Uva?
None for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Ortiz?
None for me.
And Commissioner Duarte?
I have none also.
And none for me, thank you. The public hearing is now open. Will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward to give testimony?
Good evening. I'm here for a request for a special event to operate the circus starting April 22nd and finishing May 9th. If there's any questions, please feel free.
Are you new to this project? I don't recognize you as we had
Yes,
other
I'm-
representatives.
Well, my sister Katja and her husband Nelson usually come, but they had an out of state event to attend to, so I'm representing them at this moment.
Great, thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any questions of the applicant? Commissioner Uva?
I do. When someone orders their ticket for this circus, are they doing it online, or how are they making the reservation?
Yes, mostly about 70% is online. Then we do have a box office that opens actually from the day that we have shows, so that people can come to the box office, ask questions, buy tickets, exchange. And we also have an 800 number 24/7 that people can call and have questions or anything.
So to lead off of that, so then when they make that reservation, are they then told or given a map of where they're supposed to park?
I do believe, no.
No?
No.
So there's just directional people within
Yes,
the parking
yes.
structure telling them, directing them where to go?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then concerning the COVID protocol stuff, I see here in our little package that face coverings are required while they're inside unless they're eating or drinking. Is that still the requirement in LA County?
No, we only go by the guidelines of the county.
Okay, so then.
So that would be updated according, and
Got
on our
it.
website, we do the same. We always say we go according to the county mandates.
Right, because that even talks about having proof of vaccination, and that's not
Right,
required
that
as
was
well.
last year, was quite strict, and now.
Yes, definitely.
Thank goodness, everything's much better.
Right. Thank you. I have no more questions.
Okay.
That prompted one follow-up question from me before I go to the Commissioner Ortiz. Is the signage messaging that way? It no longer says face masks, no
On the
longer says vaccine?
website, and when the people purchase, it does say that we follow all county mandates, and that it's not necessary at this moment, yes.
So as they may change, you may have to change?
Yes, so
Okay.
that we just strictly adhere to the mandates at the current county.
And I should have taken advantage of staff when they were standing there, but in my head, I counted, is there about 26 personnel between city forces and operators' forces and the mall forces, is what I kind of counted? That includes parking help and,
They're doing the count now.
Okay.
You know, and while we wait for that number, just on that topic, so condition of approval number 6 also references that they've got to follow all county and state protocols. So if something happens between now and then and the county public health protocols change, they've got to follow those as well.
okay. So Commissioner Ortiz, do you have questions of the applicant?
Yes, just jumping off what Commissioner Uva said, I know last year I mentioned, and maybe I can jump back to staff and then I'll ask you. One of my concerns was on the entrance towards Raising Cane's. It's a heavy traffic area, and I just noticed that there's no parking attendants in that specific area. Does city staff think that's necessary to have at least someone directing traffic there?
Yes, Commissioner, as part of the last condition for the planning section, on last year during the hearing, it was requested that they put 3 in that space, and we continued that condition.
Okay.
So although it's not represented in their packet that they submitted, it is part of their conditions.
Okay, great. Then no questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if I may, Chair, there are 18 total staff that are present, 8 security guards provided by the circus, 6 parking attendants throughout the center, and 3 additional security guards provided by the property management company.
Thank you. And since we don't have, well, one of the commissioners asked, were there any incidents, from the last time? Was the same amount of personnel available, same 18 for 500, something like that?
Yes, currently.
And it worked
we
out
had-
well, it sounds like.
It worked out well, we had no incidents, yes.
Any other questions, Commissioner Ortiz?
No questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Duarte, questions of the applicant?
No, I have no questions. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
And at this point, Madam Secretary, has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
No public comments, sir.
Thank you. At this moment, is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition of the application?
What's my allotted time? Mr. Owen, please?
I show 3 minutes.
3 minutes? All right. Welcome back, motherfuckers. Here we are. Now,
Mr.
I'm in
Herman,
support
Mr. Herman, I'm
of-
going to stop you for a quick second. Please be conscious that there is a listening public, a viewing public, as well as what's in the gallery tonight.
sir, are you trying to censor me at this point?
No,
What are you
sir, I'm
trying to
just
say?
reminding you of the audience you're speaking to. Thank you.
Well, I being black, don't want to be discriminated by what you're trying to engage upon what I say to reflect the record. Madam Attorney, by the way, can you state your name for the record since you are not Miss Garcia? Can you speak into the mic, please?
There's a button down here.
My name is Melissa Crossweight.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Now may I proceed? Well, now I'm here in support of this 16-day circus event because 3 years, 4 months into this fucking COVID shit, it's time for some of us to really get out and socialize with motherfuckers from our hood. Right, Mr. Duarte? Now, the last time I heard from this event, the only issue we had were parking issues and noise issues. Now, again, it's only 16 days. People need to suck it up, you know. MF. And we reckon the niggas will steal it. Yeah, they'll steal the show. And again, you know, we have to take into consideration accessibility plan. Is that correctly said, Mr. Attorney, Mr. Duarte, for the record? Accessibility plan. What about path of travel? You know, I have a hell of a bad time with path of travel issues. You know why? Because sometimes some motherfuckers put shit on the sidewalk or they don't repair a sidewalk, which can create a slip and fall, in which at one time a year ago it happened to me in the city of West Covina, in which I, again, was awarded by the court's judgment. And I hate for someone to sue the city of Downey for those types of issues because it shouldn't be the fault of the plaintiff here, which would be Circus Vargas, because Circus Vargas, that goes back to the days when they had animals in the canopy. And now we don't have any animals, right, Mr. Owens? Woof, woof. Big boy. So, another point I want to talk about is the public right-of-way. Public right-of-way means that you'll have Mr. Orsario out there with signs telling people in which directions you go up or down, east or west, north and south, where to park. Because the last time you had a horrible plan, there was just too much congestion. Trying to get into the mall, get your last sale, get a pair of new shoes or something, or a nice shirt to wear into the event, that was the issue. Now, as far as this PLN 220038 special event permit, I'm in support, in favor. Matter of fact, I think the city of Downey should give Circus Vargas a 15% discount on the permits they had to pull to establish their tent up in the parking lot. Wouldn't that be nice? I think that's exceptionally nice. 15% discount for all those permits they had to get to set up. Because again, we're no longer in a surge. We're no longer in the crisis of COVID. And Mr. Schindler there will tell you, it's a fucking fact. We need to get back into the groove. Go back to work. Get niggers to enjoy events. Not suppress us or impede our free speech, Mr. Owens. But for the record, I'm going to submit my documentation here under, not Janice Hahn, but it's under Supervisor District 1, Cunt Hilda Solis. Thank you.
Cut the mic. Thank you. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Just a couple of things. The capacity is estimated to be 500, I believe, but they're moving it from the southeast corner up to the northeast corner. Now, was that 500 still referencing to 2021 when you had the phony restrictions from COVID-19 that should never have been put on anything? as far as the amount of people you have in the facility, or whether they wear a mask, or whether they are vaccinated or not. None of that should have applied, but is this occupancy going to be the maximum 500? That question was never brought up, and maybe the young lady can answer that, because it seems like in 2021 it was going to be considerably less than what you would be expecting now. And then we shouldn't really be concerned with the mask mandates or any of that, because allegedly COVID is gone. So there's no concern of that, unless you have plans to bring the mandates back and the lockdowns back. And that's why we're in the mess we're in here in California. Too much government, too many regulations, too many totalitarian protocols for a survival rate of 99.8%. There should have been no restrictions at all, especially for a man-made synthetic virus that was made in 2016 in a laboratory in China and then distributed out to us here. And there's no reason why we should have to suffer for any of that here under the freedom and liberty that we have in this country. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, so good afternoon. I think it's a great idea to bring the circus. I am in favor of the circus, but I'm also confused because I know that people have been saying, well, this place is turning into a circus. And so it's like we're bringing in another circus. I think it's great. I think it's truly fantastic. I agree with Mr. Herman that there should be a discount. We should be giving good businesses discounts. And I mean, if we can get more people interested in attending the circus, I think that'll be just great for everybody. So that's why I'm totally in favor of this. I'm also in favor of the continued circus. Because we need more people here at the circus and to attend the circus. That's going to be on Firestone. I think that's just fantastic. I don't understand why we don't have more circuses. Like, imagine if one was to come in one after the other, and then we get new people coming to the city, and more people here. It's just going to be great. So I am totally in favor of the circus. Yes, on the 15% discount. Yay!
Could I have 5 minutes?
It's 3 minutes.
Is that written down in your policy for your subcommittee?
I'm pretty sure it's in the code.
I'm pretty sure it isn't, but we'll take a look at it. Okay.
Please.
Starting my time. Mr. Patrick Owens, please respect the First Amendment. If you're going to run for city council, you want to keep that in mind. Second, I support the circus. Bring it over. But one of the staff members said that some traffic will be guided in the Canes area, and that somehow, that information, I want to know if it's available, if we have transparent access to it, what will be the budget for those 3 guards that will be in that area? As I did hear from one of the staff members that might be a little unclear in the reporting. So please clarify where that money is coming from. Is it privately being funded, or if it's our taxpayer dollars for that? Respect our First Amendment.
Does the applicant care for rebuttal time?
No, that's fine.
Thank you. Public hearing is now closed. Does the planning staff have a recommendation?
Yes, staff recommends the Planning Commission approve special event permit PLN 220038.
Thank you. It is now time for the Planning Commission to deliberate. Does the commission have any questions at this time, or would the commission like to discuss the item? Commissioner Uva.
I have no questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Ortiz?
No questions. I'm excited for this to be part of our community. Thank you.
Commissioner Duarte?
I have no questions.
I have none either. So at this moment, I would take a motion
A motion to pass PLN-22-000038.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. It is moved and seconded to approve. So can we take a roll call vote, please?
We will be voting electronically. Okay, please place your votes.
Uh-oh.
That's input.
Okay, how do we go back?
Is it not working?
No. Okay, so here we go. Okay.
The motion passes with all 4 in favor to approve PLN 22-00038 for a special event permit.
Thank you. At this time, I wanted to remind the applicant, the action of the Planning Commission will be final unless the matter is appealed to the City Council with the appropriate fee within the next 15-day period as set forth in the city's municipal code. Thank you. Moving on to the next item on the agenda. Now is the time set aside for the public hearing for planned sign program application PLN-21-00167. Does the planning secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, we do.
And will the deputy city manager introduce staff making the presentation?
Thank you, Chair Owens. Tonight, once again, we have our senior planner, Alfonso Hernandez, to give the presentation.
This request is for a planned sign program at 12125 Woodruff Avenue. The program will determine all the signs that will be installed at an existing commercial center. This is an aerial of the subject property outlined in red near the corner of Woodruff Avenue and Washburn Road. This is the zoning for the area. The lot is zoned M1 light manufacturing and PB parking buffer. To the north are M2 properties developed with retail, office, and industrial uses. To the east, the west, and south are C2 zone properties developed with religious institutions. Also to the east are M1 properties developed with industrial uses. Here are photos of the site. One of the buildings at the subject location, the one in particular is the top right photo, and it currently has permits and is currently under inspections to redevelop or rather on upgrade that building. Here is a site plan of the center detailing the location of the various proposed signs. There are 3 separate buildings with a potential for up to 17 tenant spaces, allowing a total of 18 wall signs. Also proposed is a freestanding sign and an existing monument sign. The wall signs are represented in the red blocks. The freestanding sign and monument sign are positioned one at each entrance, the freestanding sign off of Woodruff Avenue and the monument sign off of Washburn Road. Here are the elevations showing the locations of each wall sign. The size of the wall signs are allowed to be a total of 1.5 square feet per every linear foot of tenant frontage. A maximum grand total of all the signs will be 513 square feet. The maximum height ranges from 16 inches to 36 inches. The 36-inch height on limit only applies to one of the tenant spaces. The rest are limited to 16 inches. The length of each sign may only extend 75% of the width of the tenant space, and all lighting must be internally illuminated. The photos to the right are examples of what may be approved per the standards found in the proposal. Also proposed is the monument sign. This is located at the Washburn Road entrance to the site. It is 7.5 feet tall and 5 feet wide with a total sign area of 15 square feet. The materials will be aluminum and painted black. The freestanding sign is proposed closest to the driveway entrance on Woodruff Avenue. It is 20 feet tall and 10 feet wide with a total sign area of 40 square feet. The materials will also be aluminum and painted black. In conclusion, it is staff's opinion that the findings can be made in a positive manner. And with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Does the Planning Commission have any questions of staff? Ms. Uva?
No questions.
And Commissioner Ortiz?
No questions.
Commissioner Duarte?
None for me, thank you.
And none for me. Thank you. Before I open the public hearing and call the applicant or his or her representative, this would be the time for the planning commissioners to disclose any pre-hearing site visits or pre-hearing discussions that the commissioners may have had about the project. Commissioner Uva?
None for me.
Commissioner Ortiz?
None for me.
Commissioner Duarte?
None for me also.
And none from me. Thank you. The public hearing is now open. Will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward to give testimony?
Hello, all.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Deborah Rios, and I'm the representative for the sign company Brothers Signs. And we're just presenting this because we wanted to revamp the shopping center so we can have all of the storefronts look uniform. Any questions, I'll answer to the best of my ability.
So any questions of the commissioners? Commissioner Uva? Commissioner Ortiz?
None, thank you.
Commissioner Duarte?
No, thank you.
And I think I read in the details, these are all LED signs.
Correct. LED lit in their interior, so there's no LED that are going to be lighting up directly to people.
Great, thank you. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary, has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
There's been no correspondence, Chair.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition of the application?
PLN 21000167 regarding location at 12125 Woodruff Avenue regarding the zone lighting manufacturing. Well, I'm here in support of what the young lady came up here to speak to you about, which was very brief and directed to you at one point, that she forgot to add, is she gonna get a discount from the city of Downey? You know, Downey is a good city, and Downey should be giving support to businesses, whether they're manufacturers or whether they're installers or whether they're here on a one-day installment. Should be giving people some type of break on some interest on these budgetary issues, because again, you know, 18 wall signs can be very expensive. And businesses now coming out of the surge, or as that jackass from Sacramento, your governor would say, "Oh, it's not a crisis. I'm just up here at the winery with my friends with no mask, drinking and having fun." Well, I'll tell you what's fun. Fun is having signs, because children love signs. I recall when I'm still a child looking at signs. You know, when I go to the Red Garment District in Hollywood looking for Playboy or prostitutes, I look for the signs. Bright LEDs. Come this way, go down the street. That's what signs are important for. Also, signs can direct us to the police in case there's some illegal stuff going on, like when Jose Luis Huizar from the city of LA was fucking his chief of staff at City Hall, and the LED lights were on, and the building looked blue to me from where I lived at one time. But that, again, is a different story about LED lights, you know, and the gentleman by the name of Jose Luis Huizar, who will be going to a federal prison pretty soon. So, again, the background on this site, the construction of the building, 1960, yeah, it's pretty old. And besides that, you know, it's only 4,250 square feet. It's no biggie. And again, the question I'm still trying to emphasize is what kind of discount are you going to offer them for these installations? And what business discount are you going to give the businesses that are going to open up a shop there with these new signs? Because it does no fucking good to put a sign there if no motherfuckers coming in to buy shit because we're in a fucking COVID surge.
At this time, the public hearing is now closed. Does the planning staff have a recommendation?
Yes, staff recommends the Planning Commission approve Plan Sign Program PLN 2100167.
Okay, does the commission have any questions at this time, or would the commission like to discuss the item? Commissioner Uva.
Nothing for me.
Commissioner Ortiz?
No questions.
Commissioner Duarte?
No questions.
And I have no questions either. So may I have a motion?
A motion to pass PLN-21-0016-7.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve case number PLN-21-00167. May we have a vote?
Please place your votes. Oh. And the motion passes with all 4 in favor to approve PLN 21-00167 for a plan sign program.
Thank you. I want to remind the applicant that the action of the Planning Commission will be final unless the matter is appealed to the City Council with the appropriate fee within the next 15-day period as set forth in the city's municipal code. The next item on the agenda is going to be postponed to a future date. And I think that's the date of the next meeting, which could be 2 weeks from this
That would
evening.
be April 20th, Chair.
April 20th. Okay. Yes. Thank you. So at this time, the agenda moves to the non-agenda public comment.
I'm sorry, if I could just clarify, just to make sure, it's to April 20th at 6:30 in council chambers is when this matter will be continued.
Got it. April 20th in these council chambers.
Just to be clear.
6:30 PM. Okay. Thank you. All right, so now at this time, we'll move to non-agenda public comment. This portion of the agenda provides an opportunity for the public to address the Planning Commission on non-agenda, consent, and other business items within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission and not listed on the agenda. It is requested but not required that you state your name, address, and subject matter upon which you wish to speak. Please limit your comments for non-agenda items to no more than 3 minutes pursuant to the Brown Act. No discussion or action other than a brief response, referral to the city planning staff, or schedule for a subsequent agenda shall be taken by the Planning Commission on any issue brought forth under this section. Those that wish to speak to the mic, please step up.
So you see here, I brought my sign. Very graphic, very direct, and to the point. F-A-T-T-Y. Why? F-R-O-M-E-T-A. Frometa. Now, again, you know, when a small city like this wants to discriminate against a establishment like Crazy Eyes, or as you guys will put it in wetback terms, Ojo Locos, why even bother giving them a permit? But you have to give them a permit. I'm here in support of that permit. Because regardless of who wants to eat there, who wants to work there, they have a right to open up anytime, any place, anywhere, as long as they follow the protocol. And they did, and they are. So I'm in support of them. And as far as the opinion of other people saying that, you know, they're disgusted by their dress, well, no one talks about how Frometa wears her dress. You know, she's a big woman wearing tight clothing. I'm appalled by that. That's offensive to me. Or what about Mommy Blanca Pacheco, the mayor? She thinks she's all good. She wears the same fucking clothes all the time. Change it up, homie. Mayor, change it up. Get a face job. See? Again, but I still keep coming to meetings despite these objections of mine of how the mayor looks and how fat the other mayor looks and how fat the other people in here look, right? It's not about your appearance. It's nothing personal. I just want to go in there, eat, look at boobs, and if I get this chance to see some ass, it's free. I'm not wasting money on a gentleman club. Now, what happens after hours? That's why we have the police department right behind you guys. That's their job to monitor whether or not an establishment is behaving inappropriately. And then we can bring them back in here, and then we can discuss all the negativity you want to talk about. But as far as I'm concerned now, I'm in support of Ojo Locos. Where are all the fucking people at that were screaming and yelling the day that fucking mommy kicked me out for 1 minute of public comment after people were telling me that they were hurt by me using the word nigger? In the book of Huckleberry Finn, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain, go to page 212. Why does it say MF, nigger stole it? If that's not good language, what the fuck is good language nowadays? Don't be sensitive of words and don't punish words. Because the moment you do, you're going to find yourself in a federal court discussing First Amendment issues in a class action lawsuit.
Mr.
Sir,
Chair,
you have an extra minute.
Mr. Chair, we're adding another minute. It's 4 minutes for this section.
Wow, this is a privilege. Thank you. See, Frometa? See, Blanca? I get 4 fucking minutes and not 1. Not 1. And I'm not targeted by your racist, discriminatory, unlawful deprivation of my civil rights to be heard and say and not be monitored by those who find my vulgarity, as you call it, I call it sensitivity of words. It's not my fault, Mr. Duarte. I didn't go to law school, but I sure know fuck for sure how to fight the system that tried to fuck me. Like what Miss Frometa did with her husband that one night at 1 a.m, threatening me out on the parking lot. That issue's not over. 42 U.S.C. 1983, fuck you.
Yes, is this on? Yes, as probably the only conservative here tonight, I will go on record, I am not in favor of the nudie bar going up over at Denny's. I am on record for that, and all the crap that goes with these types of establishments. I'm not in favor. I'm not going to worry about whether they're 3 inches down here or 2 inches up here. We just don't need the nudie bar over there, period. And we're not going to sit here, I'm not going to sit here and grandstand like I'm doing it. I oppose this for the children, okay? When people are trying to sexualize our children in our schools, those are the same people saying they're doing it for the decency of our children. They have no credibility on that. The other thing, I do want to mention the outdoor dining and the weighing in of Janice Hahn on this issue. My question is this going to be just for this one restaurant at the Commons? Because there's 3 restaurants there, and then the patio area goes out 30 yards from all the facilities there. Now, the Coffee Bean people say they don't use that patio area. And the other 2 are closed. There's nobody there. And I understand it's the Poached restaurant, the middle one, that was using the patio area, which you have to walk 30 yards from inside to outside. Now, my question also is, why did they establish this outdoor patio? And you're all gonna say, oh, it's the pandemic, it's the virus. But now the virus is gone and there is no pandemic. There should have never been any mandate restrictions at all for any of the businesses. We're adults, we can make up our own mind if we want to go into a restaurant or not. We'll take our risk. That's what free market capitalism is all about. People that take the risk, and the customers take the risk, okay? And it's a 99.8% survival rate. Now, I see different people here tonight, but if I go to a city council meeting, I see 100% survival rate there. Nobody has died in the city council meetings. They are there, okay? So there's nothing to be afraid of. Even for the children, we have 75 million kids under the age of 18 in this country. And you know how many died from the so-called coronavirus? 1,354. Do the math. It's not likely they're going to be affected by this. There are 3,500 kids that died in drownings in backyard pools. So let's get rid of the pools too, right? My question is, I just have to also wonder, what do the residents around this parking lot have to think? Because they see all the peeling out and probably throwing the trash over their backyard fences and have to put up with the garbage that goes with this outdoor dining situation. If there's no need for them to be outdoors any longer and they're allowed to go inside, I don't see any reason to make this permanent. There's absolutely no reason to make it permanent. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Piggyback what this gentleman just said, I'm also here to speak a little bit on the outdoor dining. I'm actually a resident, longtime resident of Downey for over 25 years, to the east of the proposed dining area. When I moved to that area, Ford dealer was still there. Really no issues during the daytime. They did their sales mechanic stuff and that was it. No noise at night. It was gone. But ever since the shopping center opened up, we have so much noise gathered in that facility from customers coming through here. You have a lot of young customers nowadays who play the loud radios, burning rubber right in the parking lot and out into the street, flowing to the street and our own residents. I've personally had trash thrown over my wall that sometimes I have to clean for the same reason. When they first opened up that shopping center, it was established that they were going to have security walking the center. I believe the same people that own Ralph's own that same lot. They're supposed to have security monitoring the location and calling the police accordingly. They did it for a couple of months. After that, it's gone. So by adding this additional space, to me, that's going to bring more folks into that small little area, create more noise, more trash, and other issues that come up. One of the other issues that I have is noise. The owners of the restaurant Poached Egg and also the buffet. Open Corral. Thank you. Open Corral. They allowed people make deliveries at 4:30 in the morning, the large trucks with those tailgates, electronic tailgates that open and they make a loud noise. And when they're delivering whatever packages they're delivering, when they finish with their deliveries, the pallets, seems like they just throw them out to the street, wake up the entire neighborhood. And I've talked to a couple of drivers about it. They're like, hey man, I'm just trying to do my job. Get out of here. Okay, I'm trying to do the sensible thing. Like I said, I live in Downey over 25 years. It's been a great city. I don't want to give my name this time, but I will give it next time when it's formal back on the agenda. I am a retired law enforcement officer, just recently retired. And the last thing I want to do is come home, relax, enjoy my backyard. It seems like ever since the shopping center opened, I haven't done that. I can't be outside because of the loud noise, music all the time. One of my other neighbors next door, he also wanted to make the meeting. He couldn't come, but now thankfully it's been moved forward. Maybe he can come back. That he said, especially on Sundays, when the weekend comes, there's a lot of overflow of parking that goes onto the street on Gallatin and Arrington. He said he has video of people parking next to his house on the street and walking all the way back to the Golden Corral. So he wanted to address obviously the issues to the Planning Commission and the Commission for Downey. And that's my issues and complaints that I have about letting more space getting developed in that small parking lot I don't think we just don't need more. It can't handle no more because all that overflow is going into the parking lot or into the street. And to me, that's not cool if you guys gonna allow that to happen. That's all I have. Good night.
Okay, 4 minutes. This is great. The council robbed the public a few, last year it was. It was a long moving train wreck, slow moving train wreck. First we had Alex Saab, who's an attorney. He was advocating against reducing the time at the city council meeting, but then he just kept fighting for that. And I thought that was admirable of him. He was standing up for that specific thing. But then you got the council members who hate freedom of speech, hate it. So obviously when Mr. Saab, was termed out, they took the opportunity to rob us of these 4 minutes. Wow, can you imagine that? Like this is the way it should be. You should give the public the chance to speak. A lot of the commissioners and the council members might be like, "Well, we want to go home. You guys are not even talking. We don't like what you're saying." Essentially, well, that's really your problem. It's not our problem, and it's not anyone else's problem who chooses to come to speak up here. You guys decided to do that. It's totally ridiculous that you just want to be paid, your monthly stipends, and you just want to basically have like a 1 hour meeting. Or no, you should be there for as long as we in the public desire you to be there, which is going to be as long as we desire to speak up, because this is our opportunity to do so. All right, so thank you, Planning Commission, for having 4 minutes. The council really needs to learn from you, because otherwise, they just keep going down. They're falling apart, clearly. So this is just crazy. Okay, so we have one vacancy there, and we have another vacancy on the council. So yes, Mr. Owens announced that he applied. That's good. I'm glad. I hope that a lot of people applied, because apparently the self-anointed person is Mr. Mario Guerra, and he's arguing, he's having these meetings with people and cutting deals and saying, "Oh, I have the gravitas, I have the experience that the council needs at this moment." No, nobody on many different sides here of the city politics wants Mr. Mario Guerra there. No, it's just no. Like, he already had 2 terms. The term limits were created because he insisted on trying to get a 3rd term, and people were like, "No, sorry, we have to move on from that." So no, we don't want Mario Guerra there. Hell no. So hopefully, I'm excited to thank you, Mr. Owens, for applying. I don't know anything about you, but it's good that people put their names out there. And so then we'll see. I mean, there's also Mr. Sosa. So we're going to have to see. I think that's what's really important. We have to see things, because if we don't see things, then we can get into trouble as a democracy, because, like, for example, I saw some things up there that were illegal actions on behalf of the council members. Apparently, they got really freaked out about that. They were really freaked out about that. That's apparently the reason why Ashton resigned. So just imagine, and that was just a little moment. So you got to cut out the illegal behavior. Just cut it out. Just stop it. Follow the laws, follow the constitutional principles, certainly the First Amendment. So that's what's going to be up. So thank you for the 4 minutes. Good luck, Mr. Owens.
So I want to start off by saying, did you guys notice Mr. Herman's speech? Probably wasn't pleasant. Some of you probably don't like the terminology, and I gotta say, I don't condone any of that. It's disgusting racism. But that man has a First Amendment. He's protected by our Constitution, and he's protected by the Brown Act.
I'm going to use you guys as an example because you guys are smart enough sitting here today to know that difference. Yeah, you're all quiet, letting the speakers do their thing. Why can't the city attorney do that? Why can't Frometa do that? Why can't she do the basic necessities that her own commissioners are achieving right now? The illegalities, the circus that these criminals are portraying up here on the dais is disgusting. And I should hope that you guys who are bounded by an ethics clause should take the time to speak with your representatives who appointed you and tell them, hey, what's taking place in our city council is not only a violation of the Constitution, it harms our community. It puts our city for potential litigation, by the way. Mr. Herman's already litigated and won. And when he litigates what happened last week, he'll win again. That's my taxpayer money being wasted defending a violation. It's fucking disgusting. Don't appoint Mario Guerra. Nobody should appoint Mario Guerra. I don't think you guys will be responsible for that, but I want you to go tell your constituents and your friends that Mario Guerra is a clown who was termed out, who term limits had to be placed because nobody wanted him here. That's not a joke. That's not progressives making stuff up. Nobody wants Mario Guerra to the point where an initiative had to be placed on the ballot to prevent the clown from serving again. That's just the truth. And I think you're all smart enough to get that. I am going to end my statement by saying I hope that most of you can continue to do the good work that I'm seeing here today and be an example for the criminal behavior that takes place during regular city council meetings that are being perpetrated by our own elected officials and our own staff members that are supposed to consider the best framework for our constituents in our city rather than for criminals who are just trying to keep their seats and take our money. Again, thank you for signing up, Mr. Owens. I'm always interested in hearing new perspectives and seeing new candidates come up. If you're gonna plan to run or if you just wanna be appointed, please respect the First Amendment. It's not difficult. I show up every week asking the same thing. Some people just don't understand or get it. I hope you do. I don't want to have a key interest in addressing corruption or ignorance in my city. But I love my city and I love doing the work. And if you guys have seen city council meetings, you know I show up. Thank you.
So at this time, there are no items listed on the consent calendar tonight. Do we have any new business, or does any commissioner have any business to discuss? Commissioner Uva. Commissioner Ortiz?
None for me.
None for me.
Duarte? None? And none for me. Thank you. Does the deputy city manager have any additional comments?
No comments tonight, Chair.
All right. So with that, we are adjourned.